Again, everyone, I'm Richard Weil, and I'm the principal and CEO of National Restaurant Consultants, and this is our 66th NRC Helpful Moment. We're going to be talking about opening during COVID and all those pieces. I want to welcome in again Mr. Brian Devine, the president of Top Line Management and CafeFuel. Brian, always great to have you, and thank you for all that you're doing for
Happy
the
to be
industry and for everybody that you help in marketing and promoting their businesses. So thanks, Brian.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Today, our guest is our president of National Restaurant Consultants, Mr. Dave Kinchelow, who's going to talk a little bit about a project that National Restaurant Consultants has been working on for well over a year. And he's going to give you a little bit of highlights from, I guess, the concepting to we're about at the finish line here up in Estes Park, Colorado. So, Dave, if you please, take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Richard. We did initially start off with a banquet facility that was being built out of the ground up in Estes Park. This was a concept that we really started in October of 2018. And with that, then the principal had some property up there, which included another functioning restaurant. And in the process, this the lessee of this building decided to leave, and so now we had two, basically, one under construction and another banquet facility on the property. This was what they decided to do was refurbish this existing banquet facility. So we went through all the construction issues, what it was going to take to do that. We met with the client, figured out what they were going to do from a menu standpoint, how many people were going to be able to attend banquets in this place, what their primary purpose was it going to be corporate, weddings, just special events, whatever. So we went through this whole process of developing our overall construction budget. We developed preliminary menus, provided all the initial background information, a lot of hand sketches that we then forwarded over to the architect. One of the unique features of this building is that it was originally one of the homesteads up in Estes Park. So this started with a actual log cabin made with logs that are 130 years old. A very, very cool facility. And then it had been added on to not once, not twice, not three times, but it has 4 additions on this building. As it went through modifications to this, it was literally open up a wall and see what's in there, and 9 times out of 10 it was one of these 100-year-old logs that we either had to work around, cut out, or drill through. Had all kinds of issues, and we finally got our permits for this in January of this year, after working with the city and architects and contractors for 6 months, and started actually demolition, and then started construction. And March 12th, everything kind of ground to a halt with the COVID operation. So we were scheduled at that time. First banquet was actually on the books for April 18th, which was canceled then also. Construction had all kinds of delays. The biggest issue that we had during COVID was the supply chain. It wasn't that equipment wasn't around, you just couldn't, all these places that were going to ship you all of our kitchen equipment, furniture, smallwares, they were closed. So a lot of these distribution facilities were closed, and it just kind of snowballed for us. And eventually, last week, I guess, which was June 10th, we actually were able to start cooking food in the brand new kitchen of this 120-year-old log cabin facility that has a capacity of 175. And it was all kinds of fun, I guess, because it was so unique. You just never knew what was going to happen from one turn to the next. In the meantime, we're also doing this other banquet facility that's a little easier because it's out of the ground. It's brand new, so we haven't really had any real issues. Been a couple where they've put, these 16-inch I-beams where we didn't really anticipate one. We've had a couple of foundation changes, necessitated changes in the hood. But overall, it's a lot easier project. And, from a consultant standpoint, maybe not quite as much fun.
So I think really the bottom line here from our standpoint, National Restaurant Consultants, is we've been able to navigate through the COVID-19 with our clients and for our clients. And in this case, the Homestead and the boulders up there at the gateway to Rocky Mountain National Park is going to be a community icon now and for many years to come. And we're very proud to have been a part of this project and being a part of the completion when we get the boulders open, hopefully in the next 4 to 6 weeks. So I want to congratulate you, Dave, for your perseverance, because you've spent hours on this project as well as with the clients. So it's been a great thing.
A cool thing is that you Stephen King fans, right? This banquet facility sits right behind the Stanley Hotel there in Estes Park. So it just basically borders the Stanley Hotel property.
There you go.
So
and there's
I don't know.
There's no ghost
haunting that kind of flows over,
Well, thanks, Dave, for sharing it. We thought it was a good story. We want to keep sharing some positive things out there because this is a positive. We know we hear about the 25, 30% of restaurants that may never reopen. Here's a great example of one that is about to be opened with their first real facility, first event coming up.
Yeah,
and
first event is going to be next week for a very scaled down wedding party that was originally 175 and now it's 14. But it's technically their first event. The bride decided to just go through with it and continue on.
There you go. So thanks, Dave, for sharing. Hang tight with us. Brian, you got a pivot on that one for us today?
Absolutely. Yeah. David, thank you for sharing that story, because the key to good marketing is a good story, right? So the better your story, the better your marketing can be based off of that story. And you might be thinking, well, I don't have a story that, talks about 100-plus-year-old logs and having just struggled to build everything, but you can always find some kind of a story to tell. And the more fun you have telling the story and the more detail you have kept along the way, the easier it becomes to make that a big part of your marketing. So really consider that, because obviously we have been talking about what's going to happen as all of this unfolds. And we know that restaurants are definitely going to be struggling. And so we want to make sure anyone that's watching these has the tools and the ideas in order to make sure that you survive. So to help you stand out, really think through that story. And if you think that people don't care, you're wrong, especially now. People love those stories. So get them out. And I got to tell you, even when I've been to restaurants where you flip it over on the back of their menu and then you read that story, we always stop and read that story. And if it's a good one, we remember it to come back. So please take advantage of that. And that's really what I wanted to cover based on what David was saying. Richard, anything else that you want me to cover today?
No, that's really the key here, folks, is that we want to tell good stories. Do the video. Take the time to tell your story, because the customers, the guests, the consumer today, they're tired of sitting at home. They're tired of the gloom and the doom and all the negative. They want to hear something positive about either you, your restaurant, one of your staff members, something positive you're doing in the community to help your community. So get that word out. Use the video. Take advantage of this.
And Richard, let me jump in and remind everybody that we still have the good news page.
That's right. We do.
It's free to use. We can put it on your website, or you can just take it from the National Restaurant Consulting website. All of that content can be pushed out through social media with the click of a button. So take advantage of that if you don't have your story yet. There, to be able to put out good news stories and not have to think about it because we've already curated it and put it all together for you, that can make life easier too. So take advantage of that. Good point.
Good point. It's right on our NRC website. And we hope that you're enjoying these NRC Helpful Moments. This is number 66. Dave Kinchelow, our president of NRC, thanks for joining us. And of course, Brian Devine, as always. So long for now, everyone. Take care. Bye.
Bye, everybody.